thought I was going to live forever. That was my plan.
Len Geiger, an avid athlete who had no idea why he was slowly starting to suffocate.
I don't think I've ever been so terrified in my life.
When illness strikes, we look to doctors to give us answers. But what if they can't? For these unlucky patients, diagnosis is a mystery. Len Geiger's terrifying decline began after almost a lifetime of perfect health.
I got into high school, I was on the swim team, on the soccer team, and did some gymnastics.
Len was always active, quite active. He's the one I always thought would break a limb, and didn't.
When he was 33, Len was on a ski trip with a friend, and one night, something odd happened.
We decided to take in a little bit of the ski slope at night, and skied maybe a quarter mile down the slope in the dark. And we, of course, had to walk back up in our boots in the cold. It was very strange. I couldn't catch my breath. I didn't understand what was going on. The friend who was with me noticed, and he made some comments about, "Aren't you glad you quit smoking?" and things like that.
Len decided it was just a freak occurrence and didn't go to the doctor. But over the next year, his breathing condition got worse.
I started developing bronchial infections, chest colds that wouldn't go away. They'd last for 2 weeks at a time, be gone for a week, and they would come back again. So I'd go to whatever urgent care center that was open, and every time I go in, I get the same thing. It's, you have a bronchial infection, here are some antibiotics, go home, get some rest, take a couple of days off work, you'll be fine.
The infections eventually went away, but Len's problems were only beginning.
I started noticing that I was avoiding things. I was avoiding stairs, for example. I remember very clearly realizing that not all parking lots are really flat, that a lot of them have an incline to them, because I'd get short of breath going up the incline.
We thought that it was allergies or something in the environment that had to do with what was happening to him. But I didn't give it great concern because things come and go with children's health. So we thought would clear itself up.
But as the weeks passed, Len's lack of breath became even more intense and debilitating.
Within a few months, I started becoming short of breath on almost a daily basis. And that's when I really realized that there is something wrong. I didn't know what it was. I didn't know if I wanted to know what it was, but I knew there was something going on. I began to get scared.
In 1992, Len Geiger was on a ski trip when he first experienced trouble breathing. A year later, his shortness of breath is beginning to interfere with his life, and Len realizes it's time to visit a doctor.
He says, "You're obviously in good shape. You take care of yourself, you eat right, you don't smoke. Statistics say, as long as you buckle your seatbelt, you're going to be just fine." And I wanted to believe it, so I did, and I went on my merry way.
Len decided it was just a matter of getting back in shape, so he hit the gym.
I remember the first week. This was with my ex-wife. Both of us were exercising, and both of us were horribly short of breath because we were both, both out of shape. And about a week later, she was okay. And I'm still wheezing, and I'm short of breath, and it didn't get any better at all. It never got better. If I pushed myself too far, I'd become so short of breath that my whole body hurt. It wasn't just feeling short of breath, but my skin actually hurt. You almost want to pound your chest because that sensation hurts so much. But at that time I was thinking, it's just, God, I don't know what I was thinking.
After 2 weeks of painful workouts, Len could no longer ignore the fact that something was wrong. He sought out a new physician, Dr. Michelle Huggins.
He and I just immediately formed a connection. He did express frustration to me because his symptoms were beginning to interfere with his ability to do the things that he enjoyed doing.
To her, it sounded like some type of asthmatic episode. She wasn't really sure, but she said, "Let's try this inhaler." Gave me a prescription. It sounded like a good idea to me. It was the first medicine I'd been given for my breathing.
But the inhaler didn't work, and his breathing continued to get worse. It became clear to his family just how severe his condition was.
I remember the time that I really realized something was wrong, and that was at Lynn's 35th birthday party. All the family was there. It was in a very noisy place, and we had presents, and I was seated at one end of the table, and I recall that he did not look as happy as one would expect one to be.
And we had a great dinner, and afterwards, we went outside and talked for a little bit, and I was going to walk my parents to their car, and I wasn't able to because I couldn't catch my breath.
He said, "I'll just wait here at the door." As I looked back, I could see that he was leaning on something, and I realized that he was trying to hide from us, that he was in some distress.
My ex-wife and stepdaughter walked my parents to the car while I leaned on a stranger's car trying to catch my breath.
When I looked at him and saw the expression in his eyes, I was afraid.
If you take a drinking straw, put it in your mouth, pinch your nose shut, breathe only through the straw, and try and climb up and down a flight of stairs. That's what it feels like. It freaked me out.
And it brought it home to us so hard, we realized how very real and how very, very troubling it was.
Everybody had seen this. There was no denying it this time. There's something going on. I don't think I've ever been so terrified in my life. I called back my new doctor, Dr. Huggins, told them that I wanted an appointment for that day. And the nurses asked, "What's the nature of the visit?" And I said, "I want to know why I can't breathe, and I want to know now."